this is an icon in Saudi Arabia, treasure, Ali ibn Ain, the minister, previous minister. Anybody who came after him? But this man is the icon for Saudi Arabia, one of the best ministers that we have had. And these are some of the, we continue to invest in our own people through our extensive training, infrastructure, human resource development programs, and the promotion of a corporate culture of team learning and self-development. Notice, team learning, self-development, team learning, self-development. And the 3 T's, which comprise technology, talent, and teaming, have been the most significant drivers of our success as an energy provider, and will be increasingly important in maintaining our unmatched reputation for reliability. And still Aramco is unmatched, regardless of the leadership. It's not like the previous leadership, but still Aramco stands very strong because it has been, the previous years, structured very well, institutionalized very well, put all these systems. This is a very important, that's one of my models that I would encourage you to maybe take with you, understand it very well, and use it when you write curriculum, when you design curriculum. What this says, I saw this model in the HR summit in Abu Dhabi a long time ago when I attended this summit. I didn't like it because at that time the lady from the UK was talking about this and the percentage, yes. The only problem is that she was talking about only what? Knowledge retention. It's more than knowledge retention when you do that. So I did all of this, I did research on all of that, practical research, I'm not into theories. Okay, so I did something, and basically when you go all up here, and you reach to where people start teaching each other, بلغوا عني ولو آية, convey about me even for one verse. This is what the constructive support. Basically, you learn something, you teach it right away. That this element of immediacy is very important in any learning. If you really want people to be constructive and leaders, you have to make sure that you involve them early on by unleashing their talents early on so that they can lead. Now, when you do this, this is a very important model for your curriculum. So when you do this, what will happen to you, you will improve the competencies, the character here will be also built. You will also improve about mentoring and facilitation. And this is very important for training the teachers, because when you get into this, till you get up here, you have to make sure that you train the teachers to do this, so that they know how to facilitate and mentor. Because some of the teachers are bogged down with this teaching traditional way, just regurgitate information, delivering in a traditional way, without really caring about the structural change of the character. And that's really a problem that we are facing. So if you go up, you have your curriculum academy or curriculum unit, you have to make sure that teacher training is there, so that the teacher can be a facilitator. You have also to teach them situational leadership in education, situational leadership in the classrooms. Because how would you make sure that you become, your students will be involved? This is where you gauge, while you are teaching, you gauge the competency and the passion of the students, and based on the competency and the passion of students, you will craft or you will customize your teaching. And this requires a very clever and adept teacher to really know about how to do this, to be original, to be spontaneous, to be quick-witted, to spot this and right away changes his style, so that he will at the end of the day reach to this constructive approach, where people are, or students are empowered. And here, of course, the knowledge retention, and remember, the more you go up, the more you will unleash leadership. The more you go up, the more you will empower students more. You will get them, you will delegate them more. And this is where self-directed learning teams come into play. So it's a very important model to understand, to go over it when you write your curriculum, and when you basically, you have to make sure the activities lend themselves to this type. Teachers are trained to do that, to be like facilitators or mentors. So in the process, you will be building the character. And of course, most importantly, you have to reach where two people teaching what they learn as immediately as possible. And that is going to really build the character of the person. Because when people teach what they learn, again, you will be building this value-laden character that is really cares about others, not the selfish, because at the end of the day, remember, self-directed, this, unfortunately, self-development, self. If you increase this, what will happen? You'll have a society that will be very selfish, care about themselves. This is why we added to self-directed learning teams, so that we can mitigate this and make sure we address this sickness called selfish, because unfortunately, there are lots of survivalists. They care about themselves and they don't care about others. And that's unfortunately, it's prevalent in companies, colleges, wherever you go. Some people, they don't like to teach others. It's not sick, so what can you do? You have to give him something like this, so that he will be truly structured in his system. He cannot avoid it, but you have to put it in the curriculum, so that at least he will be a good man, and he will be a man with values, and you teach him the values. And we should always remember that learning as a way of being. This is a very important book to get, by the way, for Peter Anvil. It talks about all aspects of learning. So how do we cope in the hectic, fast, deals with all these concepts. How do we deal or cope in the hectic, fast pace of the information age? How do we focus on learning, being, education, self-development? How do we learning should be incorporated in multiple aspects of being, okay, because there are aspects of being. Learning should emphasize reflection and teamwork. Notice these are the words that should be manifested even in your curriculum and programs and colleges, or your co-curricular activities. And this is exactly the aspects he's talking about. So basically, when you write a curriculum, and your activities should include some of that stuff here. They need to be recreational activities, there needs to be cultural learning, there's reflective, continual, intellectual. This is where now organizations are shooting for social intelligence and emotional intelligence. Unfortunately, we all do this later on. And this should be done earlier in the schools, you know. So all these aspects of learning, and most importantly, of course, for us, this is very important. We need to be God conscious, because that's for us is very important, because you'll be full of values, not any values, godly values, not relative values and opportunistic values. As soon as you have this opportunistic values, I will be good only if I get my, whatever it is. No, that's not the values I'm talking about. These are not values. Okay? We have to always think. This is why we have the call for a prayer, reminding us that Allah is greater, so that we always attach our heart with the greater, and we think that God is there watching us whenever we do anything. So there is always a self-vigilante within me. Okay, self-policing, making sure that I always know that there is somebody higher than my boss watching me. And that's what it's called. We call it ethical learning, spiritual learning. And all humans need that. This is the learning community that I'm talking about. So when I say I want to reach to the knowledge society, okay, the model is what? Start your self-directed learning teams early on. Whether you started with the students on their own, in their clubs, or you started with your employees. So it's not just for the students, it's also for the employees. So you have this structure as part and parcel of the learning organization that Peter Singh talks about. All of this is shooting towards learning organization, by the way. That's the model. So I'll show you something. So here, this DLT soil, you need to make sure you clean it, you fertilize it, sow the seeds of competencies there early on. Seed of delegation, empowerment, seed of all this critical thinking, respecting each other, sharing, caring at the beginning there. So when you do this, what will happen, you will develop a principled leadership that Steve Covey talks about. This is why I'm showing you this, because this is taken also, some of the ideas are taken from Steve. He talks about principled leadership, and he talks about the law of harvest. We in the field of human resource development cannot see the results early on. There is a law of harvest. You cannot sow seeds today and tomorrow you have the fruits. We need to be patient, we need to persevere, we need to cultivate, we need to nurture, we need to water, so that at the end of the day, and through the process I'm developing these leaders till we get this learning. In the process I will be doing the competencies, and I make sure to grow, prune, reap the fruits. The fruits are the competencies, and we will reach to this knowledge society. I call it here the learning community. So that's basically the model I'm talking about. And this is the in pictures. So whatever we do, basically I need to inculcate the self-directed learning concept, and it has to be big thing, it has to be structured, not just extracurricular. We need to deal with it as if it is trivial or marginal. No. So self-directed learning. I'm not talking about classrooms here only, talking even about employees, teachers, training, having these teams in the college. And they need to mentor and facilitate. They mentor each other and facilitate. So this is a culture with the students, a culture with the employees, a culture with the teachers. And they need to turn into communities of commitment to the vision of the college, and the values of the college, and the mission of the college. When you do this, I have to make sure that there is always learning, reflecting, and evaluating and critiquing each other without anybody's having bad feeling. That's the learning culture, learning organization. Now, most importantly, if I do all of this, if it doesn't lead to projects, I need to have project-based learning where I produce innovative projects that will improve the college, improve the teaching in the classrooms, improve the society as a whole. So this is why it's called constructivist socialist, because it has to be linked to project-based, experiential learning, holistic learning, that will lead to projects. Now if I learn all this, get my PhD, get all that stuff, unfortunately how many PhDs we have put on shelves in universities or electronically now? Thousands? 100,000? How many of these PhD have been turned into projects that will help society? Individuals study for 5 years, PhD, then after that it is put there, after all the struggle and dedication of that individual. Unfortunately it is put on this, nobody is using it except few. Now if I turn these PhDs and these master and these research into a product, then here will come innovation, manufacturing, lots of things you could do with that. So this deal can take place both inside and outside of the confines of the formal education institutions, and does not necessarily infer learning in isolation, as learners may draw on others as helpers and resources to assist in their self-directed learning activities. I'm reading now. That's not a quote I got. It's not my best or my wording, but so SDLT, this is SDLT. This basically is self-directed learning teams, a process in which a group of individuals take the initiative, and I don't want them just to take the initiative, I would need the management of the college and the management of the organization to make sure they support this initiative to be structured and put in the assessment, and put not as something cycle or marginal, no. So that's basically what they do with this: diagnose, formulate, identify, choose and implement, and evaluate afterwards. And this is the first time I introduced this. I was given the task in Aramco, and when I joined Aramco there was a center that was manned only by native speakers. And imagine a Saudi coming to lead this project to change the whole center, curriculum, facilities, everything, And this place never had a non-native speaker. I was the first non-native speaker to be there. And not only that, I came there to demolish everything and rebuild it again. Imagine the amount of animosity and resistance that I had. Strange enough, they all turned out to be my best friends later on. If you saw the place before, and you saw the place after, that was one of the biggest successes that I had. And it made me excel or be promoted even. But it was a challenge. Because at that time I was trying to link, again, English language with what? Human resource development, with the learning organization concept, with the competencies, and of course they are not used to that. Or they were not used to that. All teaching, some of them get 70s, 60s, you know, and they were wonderful, the facilities were not the best, but they enjoyed it. Comfort zone. It wasn't easy, but believe me, after we changed the place and everybody got his own office and his telephone and his computer at that time, it was in 2000 basically, 2000 something. It was completely different ballgame. It became an excellent son, not because I was involved, but it was given to me. Because when I joined Aramco, I had already been in charge of English language centers, Jubilee College. I was the head of the English department, and I oversaw the curriculum changes in that college, the whole curriculum. So it was a good experience for me. And before that, I was also the director of the English department in the Institute of Public Administration, which was a government agency. This experience helped me a lot. It helped me a lot to learn. And when I came to Aramco, I found myself in a very challenging environment because they started throwing all these big words, competencies, learning organization. So I had to revisit my learning again. And I put myself on a new master degree in human resource development to make sure that I'm fit for it. And I studied hard. And at that time, I was also nominated as one of the consultants of the company, the performance improvement consultant for the people, which was also added a lot of. This is why I'm telling you, it's very important to add this link, missing link, which is basically human resource development. You need to read more about this beautiful science. The more you read it, the more you want to read also. I still read it, I still record a lot of articles in my voice, I listen to myself, I reflect upon this again and again so that I make sure I become an original and I really cross-fertilize ideas with these articles and books so that I become a much better person. It's a beautiful field, and it's the field of the prophets and the messengers anyway. Okay, this is why I said beautiful field. These are some of the things that they used to do. Set the activities at that time when we start. And remember, this is only the start of that concept. And you already know that. You should know that because this is the learner-centered approach. So that's basically what tell you the learning that why is SDL important. Learner is a passive recipient of information. I want him to be active participant. Teacher is an information. I know you want to do this. You know this. I'm just reminding you of this. This is basically some of the stuff that you already know about the learner-centered approach, and I'm sure you are excellent in this. Okay, so that's basically. And I did also another project in the company to change all the approach, the learner-centered approach in all the centers in the kingdom. We had about 12, that was a project called learner-centered approach to introduce it in all the training centers, industrial. That's another project also. And why is SDLT important? It increases learning, links learning to participants' interests and job requirements even in the future, guides participants to active learning, instills responsibility, accountability and leadership, places the participant at the center of his organization's goals, promotes lasting structural character change, prepares individuals for the learning organization. And remember, this learning organization, this is what the 514, I don't know what they call them, because they applied the concept of the learning organization that Peter Singh talks about in his book called The Fifth Discipline, The Art of Learning Organization. This is when I say structural change. Remember, there are 5 things. So basically so there are multiple layers of structures that you need to deal with. So when you get into this change, you need to make sure that the individual changes, instead of saying a student, teacher, supervisor, program specialist change mental models. Here, how I think, how I work on this. And there is interpersonal change, social change, there is organizational change, and physical change. And of course, all of this you need to look at it when you do what? When you do curriculum design. When you want to inject or incorporate all what I'm talking about is in the curriculum, in the college. Okay. Because this is a model for the leadership that we used to be given. So that is taken also from Peter Singer. All the courses we took. So, what is now this learning organization? I'll come to it just to make it easy for you. It's the concept base. What is the conceptual base for SDLT? The learning community. So people continually expand their capacity. People continually, okay, create the results they desire, nurture new patterns of thinking, set free collective aspiration, learn how to learn together. This is the learning organization, and that's more about the learning organization. These are the 5 principles that you need to be aware of all the time. So you can easily say knowledge society, the same thing, the 5 principles for the knowledge society. But to do this, you need to, if you need to have a knowledge society, your house should be knowledge society. Your classroom here in the college needs to be knowledge society. If I am saying I'm a college, I'm a university, and I want to shoot towards becoming knowledge society for the whole society, and I myself as a college, in the classroom, or in the hall, or in the environment, I'm not a learning college. What's happening? You're not going to achieve فاقد الشيء لا يعطي. Because if you lack something, you're not going to get it. This is why I have to make sure that my college is a learning organization. And these are very important. Basically, the shared vision. There are many courses taught to us about this one. Everyone has got many courses. In Aramco, they gave us lots of workshops. For the everyone has got workshops. Shared vision, the collective will that emanates from conviction and commitment to a common cause. Challenging the assumptions, the mental model, getting out of the comfort zone, being creative and innovative. Third one, team learning. Everything we do should be done with cheap. And even for a meeting, there need to be learning about. There need to be reflection. And this is a concept that is spread in the learning organization articles. They speak about after action review. You need to always have this embedded in whatever you do. And personal mastery. Of course, in the process you will discover yourself, you will discover who you are, you will start mastering yourself by knowing the weaknesses, so you work on improving the weaknesses. You have a problem in your competencies, you work on improving that. And working with other people will be a reflection to each other. You will know your strength through your eyes of your team, and they will know their strength through your eyes, and vice versa. They will know your weaknesses, you will know their weaknesses, and you will be helping each other in the process to improve your competencies. And the last thing I wanted to show you a model, systemic thinking, where basically, if you do something, if you fix the curriculum, you have to make sure you fix the environment, you fix the assessment, you fix the teachers, you train the teachers, you do all of this, you provide this environment. It's not just a matter of bringing the best curriculum. And this is just some of the stuff about how you go about self-directed learning. There's a lot of stuff about it. I just want to, and these are the skills I'm talking about in any environment. Wherever you learn, whatever you do, you have to make sure you have these skills going on with you. You have to make sure this is the environment that you work in. And this is the learning organization environment, where basically people need to listen actively to each other, think constructively, acknowledge and reflecting, participating fully, working together on tasks, solving problems, expressing appreciation to each other. assisting improvement all the time, celebrating achievement even if it is a small, quick one, respecting others, making responsible decisions, resolving conflict professionally. This is the environment that we should be always using, working in. That's a very healthy environment. Now, I will end with something here. I'll just skip this. This is a learner. I'll just forget about this one, forget it. Okay, I'll just end now. Now, how do I know that I'm achieving self-directed learning teams to create? If I answer all these questions with yes, that means I am on the right direction. These are like key indicators, success indicators. I answer yes, these questions, that means I am doing the right thing. If I answer this question no, that means I need to work hard on revisiting everything in my college, in my unit, at home. So, is learning incorporated in everything employees do? You could say the same thing about participants, students. Is learning for learning's sake encouraged and rewarded? Does the unit or the classroom or the college or the house support teamwork, creativity, empowerment, and equality? The same thing you say about the society. Are participants trusted and encouraged to choose tasks they need and desire? Do participants with different majors, skills, capabilities learn together? Does the unit center promote facilitation, mentoring relationship to enhance learning? Is learning an integral part of group meetings? Does everyone in the center unit have equal access to learning? Are mistakes learning opportunities? Does the unit or the school or whatever you want to say encourage cross-learning and rewards participants that learn a broad range? These are 10 questions that Nonaka, the Japanese guru in human resource, raises. These are like success indicators. Now, if you say yes to that, that means you are SDLT is going towards the learning organization and the knowledge society. With SDLT, the answer to all these questions, I claim that if we do SDLT right, we will reach to that society, knowledge society. And this is the source. You could go visit the source. Now, going back to the orphan. So, the orphan is telling you vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision without action can change the world. No matter who is this orphan? My father. Okay? Now we know who the father is? He is my father, okay? So we lost our grandfather in this big fire. So this fire has become for all of us, my father and me, as like the flame that is basically illuminate all the way to make sure that we come here and we enliven everybody. And the fire should always be there in the front of me, and the flame should always be in the front of me. And that's what will make us move. Of course, I will end with this. All that I've said, if you don't start early on, you are wasting your time. Look at this lovely boy. So this is what you need. You need to start early on if you want to build leadership, cultivate and nurture leadership. So you see how beautiful this boy is? But you need to start there if you really want to build this knowledge society. With this, I would like really to thank you all. Yes, if there is any comment or question, I love comments, by the way, and I love to see this boy always leading. I take him with me all the time wherever I go in these conferences. Because after all, we are kids. We have to remember that. We need to think like the kids. We will be refreshed. If I've insulted you, I'm sorry. But that's, they call it, I think, formative or summative. The continuous one, I think it's the formative, is it? Or the summative? The continuous one is the formative. where basically the character is forming the whole process. And you are having you have pockets that you will be evaluating. Not just you are going and shooting towards this high stake test, because that's not really fair. Because you mentioned also that people have got different styles, different ways of learning. I cannot be fair to them if I just give them one stake test. I have to be fair to all. If I have portfolio assessment, I will be having different type of evaluation going on and continuous formative, as you say, till I reach. By the time I get there, I can read exactly that person's capabilities and talents and retention. If you just depend on this high stake, there are people who can excel in taking tests, but they are negligent. Their attitude is lousy. They come down no discipline. They don't come on time, and they would love to even kick them out of the classroom. But high stake, he will go there. He's good at taking the test, and he will get good mark. Is this going to help the society? Where are his values? Where is his principle leadership? That's what I said. Did I satisfy? I have the whole way with you and with you to continue now. Thank you. So, and if you're not happy now, tell me you're happy. Later on, tell me you're not happy, please.
No, I'm happy.
Okay. Yes. You want to say something? You have a question? Comment?
Doctor, I have a question.
Which one are you talking?
I am Dennis.
MashaAllah.
I think that, I really commend you for such good display of your expertise. But I have an inquiry, because I think this is based also on the book Fifth Discipline by not really based. It's partly, yes, anchored to that. Yes. My question is, how do you share? How do you cultivate the shared vision? Because this is really good in organizations. But how can you do that inside a classroom when we have different kinds of students, when we have different personalities, and you cannot enforce that to students, right? Now, how can we do this, and what is the role of a teacher in SDLT? And number three, Doctor, my last request is, can you share your expertise on how to go about our classroom,
How much are you going to pay for?
Oh,
it's a lecture.
No, Doctor, I cannot afford it. Thank you, Doctor. If you could just, share, or share your insight. Thank you,
I want to
Doctor.
share your insight. Remember what I said. This DLT is a small learning organization. Yeah? SDLT is a small learning organization. In that small organization, that is composed of 5 or 6 or 8, there are 5 things that should go. Challenging the mental model, being creative, having a shared vision, team learning, personal mastery, where they discover their 18 competencies and they work on fixing it, each with each other. Do this on. So they will be working together to fix each other's competencies also. And the last one is what? The systematic thinking. Now, when I come to the systematic thinking, I'm thinking that means I have to know the vision, not just of the college, even of the country. I have to, like in Saudi Aramco, when we used to do this, the participants, they would know the shared vision of the company. So you will go over this also. There will be orientation, by the way, given to them. So when the company is a little bit different, they will know also the vision of it. But when I say shared vision, it's not necessarily only the vision of the company, but at least they need to know it so that they will anchor their shared vision, the smaller one, with that shared vision. So they will not be shooting towards a different vision of the company or the country for that matter. So I need to know, for example, what's the vision for Oman? What is the vision for Oman, for example, in education? What is the vision? So I need my participants or my students or my employees to know what is this vision so that they will all zoom in on it and they will all align their individual and team and establishment vision with Oman vision. Yes, sir. You don't like my answer? What? Okay.
No, Professor.
Yes.
So are you saying that there is a need to revamp the educational system in Oman?
I'm not saying that. Did I say this?
No.
Okay, you're saying it. But I need to have participants like you, where they inquire, critique, evaluate, reflect, ask questions to be better and better and better.
Thank you.
I know, I said like, he's happy, he has not going to ask me any question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Dr. Khalid. This is a preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khalid, for making my day. I have no query, and I just want to comment, not comment, just comment and say thanks, because after attending to your session, I have some good feelings, which includes team learning, self-respect, sharing and caring, and constructional development of us as teachers into the classrooms, giving situations to the students in which it would help them to enhance their leadership. Regarding the vision, maybe down, if I talk about the connecting the values to the vision. So we do have our strategic plan as an institution.
So there is a vision already.
Yes, already we have.
So you have to align the
Before it, even we have the vision of Oman, educational vision, and also the vision 2040. So we have the vision, and into that something that strategic plan usually we as lecturers, what I would like to really thank you for is we as lecturers we were kind of facing not difficulty but it needed discussion how the graduate attributes, which is team building, self-development, active listening, how we can embed it into our classrooms. I think you helped a lot, your session helped a lot, because that was something which were not, going into that. So my comment is only that. Thank you so much, and I would like to say thanks to the management of ELC, Dr. Abdulsalam, Dr. Sultan, Dr. William, and also thank you so much.
That's it. Shall I wrap it up? I have something to share before you go. Lots of comments and questions. That's good. That's helpful.
Hi sir, this is Dr. Mastan. Thank you very much for your detailed
The mic is off. If you could just stand up.
Yes, this is Dr. Mastan. Thank you very much for your lecture and very detailed research in Aramco company. So one of my colleagues asked, you may give many more presentations in Oman. So my comment is that in Oman also there are successful ministers and the leaders also is there. And if you bring 2-3 examples in your presentation, it is more approachable to the people of the Oman. Thank you very much. And your presentation touched and enlightened all the people. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Thank you for being here in Ibri. I only got one question, to be honest with you.
What comment?
Not really.
Again, question?
What's your advice to the unit, any unit missing on the T's?
Team technology.
Yes.
Teaming is very important. For me, teaming is the most important. If you have technology and all the other things, if teaming is lousy, you're not going to get together. So team, we need to work hard on team. And I think this concept of learning organization is very healthy, where basically you treat mistakes as opportunities for learning. We need to help each other to grow. We all need each other. We need to have this concept of complementing each other, synergistic power, where you add idea, I add idea, with respect. I showed you the environment that we need to work on. It's very important to make sure that gels. Technology after all is a tool, and the platforms are tools, but human being is the most important. People, teaming, working together. I think this is what will make any place a beautiful place. And other things will come with it. Many people spend a lot of money on buildings, on systems, and all of that, but we might as well spend more money on developing our people. That's, I think, for me is very important. We wasted a lot of money on buildings, but when you go to some of these buildings, unfortunately, they are not lit very well. And this is where we are facing a big problem, leadership problem. This is why we need to start early on to have more leaders. The best leaders are the ones that will produce more leaders. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. Everybody of you is a shepherd or a child, and everybody is responsible for his own dependence. So we are all leaders. We need to do this concept to everybody. We don't want anybody to belittle his capabilities or talents. We need to make sure that everybody thinks highly of himself because Allah has honored him with these talents, with these capabilities. We just need people to wake up to this reality that everybody is a treasure. And we need to get this treasure out. Work together to make sure we remind each other's treasures. Not to be tough on each other and become cynical. There is a prophetic tradition that is very, very important, which says, whoever says people are ruined, ruined, and all of that, he is the one who has caused it to be ruined, and he is the real one in this thinking. You never say people are ruined or dead ruined or these words. People are not dead ruined, people are not ruined. You ruin them in the way you think, in the way you throw your statements, in the way you advise them, in the way you handle them. So basically, we have always to think high of the people in front of you, and everyone has got something. I remember when we did this self-directed learning teams, the beauty of it respected all the skills, and you discover through it other talents that the students don't have when they take exam. They don't know how to take exam. But when we put them in this SDLT project, some of them were the best actors in English language, better than those who excelled in the taking the test. They were leading in acting. There was a play. And the best actors were those who were less in their grades. What does this do? And we had this play. We were proving to the management that this SDLT, it caters for the other capability. Remember what I say? There are people who are kinesthetic, they are strong in this. There are people who are emotionally, intellectual, social, all of these. So there are lots of, Gardner's, Gardner's multiple intelligences. So if you want to cater for all these intelligences, you need to have portfolio assessment, you need to have self-directed learning, you need to have this, or else you will be unfair to the students, or unfair to your employees for that matter. Maybe there are employees who are excellent in certain things, but you don't see that these excellent things unless there is what they work together in this DLT and they project their project. Now you discover them more. You know more about their talents and projects. With that, I think this is what I have to say. You've already brained me. So what? I just want to say something. You are in the best profession. This profession is the best profession. No matter where I get to, what I get to, what position, I never consider myself other than a teacher. I love teaching. And teaching is what made me who I am today. After I finished my master's degree in TESOL in New York, at that time I came back, they put me the head of the English department. I had all the best teachers who are better than me under me. Now what's message are you seeing me here? Because I was Saudi, of course, the first Saudi, and they were bragging about it, okay, and they put me in charge of the English department, which was good, prestigious Institute of Public Administration, in the government and everything. I couldn't stay. I didn't have experience. So what did I do? I resigned. With all this prestigious position, good money, I went to teach in the high school for 5 years. And that was my launching pad. That was my beautiful time. But this is what really shaped me, made me who I am today. I studied education English, teaching English, master degree teaching English. And suddenly I come all the way from New York and I become in charge of the English department, and let me all these veterans and experienced teachers, native speakers and all that. It didn't make sense. The best way to learn is to teach. You know, I've studied all these years and suddenly you put me in charge of an English. You know, I would love, everybody would love prestige. But you know, I was so adamant about teaching because in the classroom, it shapes your character. You become leader, coach, you become everything. Yes, at the beginning you think a lot of things, but you really become it. So basically, I am you and you are me. هذه بضاعتكم ردت إليكم. This is your commodity, it has been brought back to you now. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm very proud of all the teachers. Nobody can ever pay the teacher. No matter how much you pay the teacher, you never give him his due right. Teacher is very difficult, but lovely job, and it's a noble job. So I really cherish the moment with all the teachers, and I love to be with teachers most of the time. And I love to work working with them. I congratulate you on this profession. Continue with it, regardless of the glitches and bumpy road that we go through. At the end of the day, you are those who are making the difference. Okay, take it. So,
all right, thank you very much, Dr. Khalid. First of all, I appreciate the way that you compliment about me, and it helps me to push myself harder next time in the gym. And this shows that it is, you know, you have a very, very dignified and strong personality. This is my perception since I've been teaching personality and all this stuff. You said that, you know, I should not ask questions. This is a time of comment. So these are, frankly, I'm just saying that we are impressed with your humble gesture, and I'm sure that there are many teachers all around the world who can be inspired by you, and your humbleness help you to be one of the leaders, alhamdulillah, and you are the pride of Saudi Arabia. And after all, I hope that we will get more leaders than bosses in the world, and you are one of the person who is trying to spread this message all around the world. Thank you very much again, Doctor. So I would like to invite Dr. Al-Salam to hand over the certificate. Thank you very much.
Kita